Most haunted places in London. Number 1. Westminster Abbey. Westminster Abbey, a historic and iconic landmark in London, is not only famous for royal ceremonies, but also rumored to be haunted. Due to its long history, dating back over 1,000 years, several ghost stories are associated with the Abbey. One of the most famous spectral sightings is of John Bradshaw, the man who signed the death warrant of King Charles I. His ghost is said to roam the area near the Abbey, possibly because his body was exhumed and desecrated after the monarchy was restored. There are also tales of monks' spirits who once lived in the Abbey when it served as a monastery. Visitors and staff have reported seeing shadowy figures of monks silently walking through the cloisters. These stories, along with the eerie atmosphere of the centuries-old tombs and monuments, contribute to the Abbey's reputation as a haunted site. However, many of these ghost stories remain speculative, adding an air of mystery to the historical site. Number 2. Heathrow Airport. Heathrow Airport, like many places with long histories and a vast number of travelers, has its own share of spooky legends and ghost story. While there isn't a well-known or widely accepted haunting event at Heathrow Airport, there have been a few rumors and reports of supernatural occurrences, usually stemming from tragic historical events. One of the most famous legends is about a phantom pilot who supposedly haunts the airport's runways. The story dates back to the 1940s, before Heathrow was officially an international airport. According to the tale, a plane crash occurred, and witnesses claim to have seen the ghost of a pilot walking around the crash site, appearing confused as if looking for something. There have been occasional reports of mysterious sightings since then, though none have been officially confirmed. Other paranormal enthusiasts suggest that with the airport being such a high-traffic area, it could be a magnet for supernatural energy, though there are no major stories as widely known as those of other haunted places like the Tower of London or Alcatraz. Though these accounts are mostly anecdotal and not backed by official reports, they add a layer of mystery to the bustling environment of one of the world's busiest airports. Number 3. Theatre Royal, Drury Lane. The Theatre Royal, Drury Lane, one of London's oldest and most famous theatres, is also known for its haunted reputation. Several ghost stories have emerged over the centuries, making it one of the city's most famous haunted spots. One of the most well-known spirits is the Man in Grey, a ghost often described as wearing a tricorn hat, a grey cloak, and riding boots. He is said to appear in the upper circle of the theatre, usually during rehearsals. Legend has it that his ghost walks through a wall, which led to the discovery of a skeletal remains behind that wall in the 19th century. His presence is believed to bring good luck to productions, and many actors have reported seeing him before a successful show run. Other spirits said to haunt the theater include Joseph Grimaldi, famous clown who is rumored to play pranks on actors, and Charles Macklin, an actor who reportedly killed a fellow performer in a fight over a wig. His ghost is said to appear in the theater's green room. The stories of these ghosts, along with the long history of the theater, contribute to the eerie atmosphere and the widespread belief the Theatre Royal, Drury Lane is haunted.
Number 4. Enfield Poltergeist, 284 Green Street, Enfield, North London. This modern London ghost tale involved two young sisters from the late 1970s, 11-year-old Janet Hodgson and 13-year-old Margaret Hodgson. The siblings claimed to have been possessed by a poltergeist who also threw objects across the room, made knocking noises throughout the home, and levitated the girls off the bed. While the veracity of their experience is up for debate, the story caught the attention of news outlets such as The Telegraph and Daily Mirror, and was investigated by Maurice Gross, Society for Psychical Research. Some of the more disturbing events included objects levitating or being thrown across rooms, voices and strange noises coming from Janet, including one that sounded like an elderly man. This voice was later identified as Bill, who allegedly said he had died in the house. Witnesses, including police officers, neighbors, journalists, and paranormal investigators, reported seeing various phenomena firsthand. The Enfield Poltergeist became a major point of debate between believers in the paranormal and skeptics, with no definitive conclusion. It has inspired books, documentaries, and even films, such as The Conjuring 2, which is loosely based on the events. Some believe that the house at 284 Green Street remains a hotspot for paranormal activity, although much of the excitement around it since subsided.
Number 5. Highgate Cemetery. Highgate Cemetery, one of London's most famous burial grounds, is renowned not only for its historical significance, but also for the eerie ghost stories and supernatural occurrences reported there. The cemetery, opened in 1839, is the final resting place of many famous figures, but it is its overgrown atmospheric paths and looming tombstones that give it a particularly haunting vibe. The most famous haunting at Highgate Cemetery revolves around the Highgate vampire, a mysterious entity that supposedly haunted the cemetery in the late 1960s and early 1970s. Witnesses reported seeing a tall, dark figure with hypnotic red eyes lurking among the graves. Many claimed the creature had supernatural powers, and strange occurrences such as dead animals drained of blood fueled the vampire rumors. The local community became so gripped by fear that vampire hunters attempted rituals to banish the figure, leading to a public frenzy. Other ghostly sightings in the cemetery include mysterious figures wandering among the graves or watching visitors from the shadows, the apparition of a woman in white who has been spotted silently walking the grounds at dusk, sudden drops in temperature and strange sounds, such as footsteps or voices when no one else is around. These chilling stories, combined with the Gothic architecture and overgrown wilderness of Highgate, have cemented its place as one of London's most haunted locations. Number 6. 10 Bells Pub. A haunted tour of London would not be complete without a nod to the infamous Jack the Ripper. Many of his victims reportedly frequented this drinking den on November 9, 1888. Mary Kelly was the last to meet a bloody fate at the hands of the killer. Her mangled body was found up the street from the 10 Bells the following morning. Staff members who reside at the pub complain of an older Victorian man who crawls in bed with them and then vanishes. In 2001, one resident reported hearing laughter outside his door and being pushed down the stairs forcefully on several occasions. A psychic refused to enter one room, sensing a terrible incident involving a baby. Later, a Jack the Ripper researcher found a sack with slashed Victorian baby clothes directly above the same room.